We've got one last feature for you folks, and it is, of course, Nat's Provocation Station.
The chat train is pulling into Nat's Provocation Station.
I love these jingles, Henry. They're brilliant. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is my provocation station. I get to close the show with just whatever I've been thinking about, really. I think I mentioned at the top that I'm doing a PhD at the Institute of Social Justice. So I'm often thinking some big old thoughts about art and activism and politics, and I'm going to try and articulate a few of them for you now. I think this will maybe sum up a few of the moral dilemmas I think that we've been touching upon in the world of art and activists and the likes of us. So yeah, this is where I've been at this week. When it comes to the climate justice movement, do you ever get the feeling that we're in a film? Like The Truman Show, apart from I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be the unsuspecting Jim Carrey character or one of those actors. With the COP26 smouldering on the horizon like Mount Doom, we know what this story entails. The protesters will polish off their wittiest placards and most satirical costumes. They will chant and wail and pray that this time the message will get through. The suits will shake hands and dutifully receive their 40 lashings from Greta for their sins. They will clap, perhaps shed a tear, and then make promises that they have no intention of keeping. Do I sound cynical? Yeah, it happens a bit more often these days. I must be getting older. And it suits me to be a bit more optimistic. So when I catch myself getting lost in this epic, doom-filled, completely overwhelming movie, I ground myself and get some dirt under my fingernails. Literally. For the last 12 months, I've been lucky enough to be a part of Climate Action Seacroft, a newly formed resident group that have come together to connect around environmental and climate-based issues and action that we can take in our local area. The priorities of the group are to focus on creating a community allotment, growing our own food and forest garden, connecting with schools and young people and each other. It's about relationship building and appreciation for nature and community togetherness. Will climate action sea crops stop the seas from rising? No. It will, however, transform some people's lives. And unlike many of the environmental activist groups I've been a part of in my adult life, there's not a dreadlock or a mohawk or even much of a sniff of alternative culture. Just the everyday embodied repetitions and practices of care that make modest and purposeful contributions to progressive and social environmental goals. When I feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of the climate crisis, I return to this quiet form of activism, putting my megaphone and poster pate under the stairs and embracing small practical changes that can develop into long-lasting structural change. At the beginning of his book, Environmental Justice, The Key Issues, Brendan Coulsat writes, "If histories are stories, they must be continuously told, added to and retold. Dear reader, I hope you are and may become part of the telling." So in The Truman Show, even the extras do influence the main narrative. I think it's okay, necessary even, to step back and reflect upon your own role within the climate crisis blockbuster.
Oh, very good little provocation there from Natalie Quatermass. Clap, clap, clap,
what do you
clap,
think,
clap, clap,
Hennes?
clap, clap. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's about, we were talking before about that normalization, like defeating the normal narrative of racism that, you know, refugees, people from around the world that welcome here, with our narrative, with a much more hopeful one. And the same with the climate crisis is this, we need to have this narrative that it's normal to care and it's normal to want to take action. But I guess it's that entry level, isn't it? There's been so much in the news about Insulate Britain and their tactics and people going, oh, it hurts the cause. And, you know, those discussions can go back and forth. But, you know, I've gone to activist spaces where I felt left out, and I get all the in-jokes and references.
Yeah, I think the subcultures. It's like I said to Rick in his interview. I feel like they can often work in the negative. And it makes sense. It makes sense that people need tribes and to come together and to have a sense of togetherness. So you form a subculture. So you look a certain way, or you act a certain way. You listen to a similar kind of music. But I'm also just experiencing in my practice right now in Seacroft, in the place where I live, that cultural baggage can often be a negative thing and turn a lot of people off. And a lot of people who still have the intention to be like care about the environment or care about their local community and want everyone to have enough food to eat and want people to be able to heat their own homes. I mean, these are the issues that are affecting our local community. And then environmental issues. So yeah, we're starting with a community allotment, but that can be a quietly radical act, I think.